the three worst presidents of my lifetime have been Dick Cheney, Vladimir Putin, and Elon Musk.
I know.
Oh, hi, children. Good morning. Yeah. Welcome. Wow. What a time. Yeah. America is now a mob restaurant being burned down for the insurance money. That's where we're at.
Yep. I don't even, where do we start? I'm wearing my Kamala shirt today because she's here, in LA helping people after the fire and not saying I told you so, which it's way more restraint than I would have. But our friend John Pavlovitz, former pastor, who you know and love as well, said anti-Kamala Palestinian supporters, you really need to stop the gaslighting and just admit you helped create a mess so many of us tried to prevent you from making. It doesn't mean you're bad people. It means you believe in accountability. There's all these stories coming out of Dearborn, Michigan and other places. Oh, I just didn't know. I just wish I didn't vote for Trump. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can see why the Muslim ban might have made you think he likes Muslims, so I can understand their confusion.
Right.
Here's the deal. Did you miss America being an occupier in the Middle East? Did you miss our troops coming home in body bags and wondering why? Well, if Donald Trump gets his way, the good news is Hamas isn't going to be looking to kill Israelis anymore. They'll be looking to kill us. And that is what Donald Trump is promising. A two-state solution in the Middle East, Israel and us.
Also, once again, this risks a terrorist attack here because this is inflaming, obviously. I mean, you said Bibi and Trump, both godless, amoral criminals, both defecating on the Bible, an illegal ethnic cleansing of Gaza, another trail of tears, another U.S. occupation in the Middle East, more terrorism, more body bags, more death because Americans, fake Christians, suck at voting. Oh, John.
I'm sorry.
That's a terrible, wonderful tweet.
Donald Trump seems to think that the Palestinians will say, well, you know what? Being occupied was bad, but wow, we love being kicked out of our land and having our own trail of tears. I'm glad you talked about Pastor Pavlovitz because this prayer breakfast yesterday, I've had it with these frauds, Stephanie. Jesus supports paying taxes for government to redistribute. In Mark 12, he commands individuals and nations to care for the poor and the sick. In Matthew 25, he says we're all going to be judged for all eternity on how we welcome the stranger. In Matthew 25, he completely bans the death penalty in John 8. I can do this all night. Yeah. He promotes governance based on service, not your religion dominating in Mark 10. He rejects violent uprising and all militarism in Matthew 26. And the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. That demands human rights. It demands fairness. It demands equity. The early church was founded in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We can't let these frauds get away with pretending they believe in anything spiritual anymore. I'm sorry. Call them out, man. Atheists, call them out, too.
Just everybody was on this, John, online. Danny said, Dearborn voters who backed Trump now regret it. They thought they were making a statement. Instead, they helped elect a man openly pushing ethnic cleansing. Jam said, I want to see the Jill Stein voters and the Never Harris voters protesting Palestinian mistreatment at the White House. Come on, let's go. Get in Trump's face and harass MAGA like you did Democrats last year. Sack off. Let's see that energy when you're also going to start shouting genocide at his speeches. Come on, Jill, mobilize your people. No, nothing. You hear nothing from her.
Well, Jill Stein has had to go underground with the cicadas until the next 4 years, but she'll be back. She'll be back. Look, I mean, this is how easy it is to play people. This is how easy it is for tyrants to take over. We've made ourselves dumb enough for this to happen. And now the three worst presidents of my lifetime have been Dick Cheney, Vladimir Putin, and Elon Musk.
I know. I mean, I got to say, too, speaking of conservative issues, Aaron said, odd that I haven't heard a single conservative say, why are we spending money on building homes in Gaza when we have homeless veterans? I mean, they don't believe a single thing any conservative used to actually believe. It's just whatever Trump says.
It's not family values. It's not Christian values. It's not fiscal responsibility. And it really, really, really isn't backing the police. They are now not just letting these terrorists who beat cops go. They are hunting cops. These criminals in our government hate police so much. They are hunting law enforcement in the FBI, in the CIA, for the crimes of doing their jobs and prosecuting terrorists who attacked our Capitol for a lie. Yeah. They have gone from back the blue to F the police, and they can never claim they are the law and order party ever again. And you can't let your conservative relatives ever pretend they're the law and order party ever again.
It just, I know we can say it over and over, but it really is, not a party, it's a cult. One last
no, it is.
one last post I say for you. Todd said, Biden, we're working towards a ceasefire agreement in this ancient and complex geopolitical situation. Everyone. Genocide Joe. Trump. My plan is to commit genocide. Everyone. He's just Trump being Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
this is us.
Stop asking, are they going to defend this too? Because the answer is yes. We just played, what was that? Who's this idiot? Andrew Clyde. I mean, right?
Look, here's what I said at the Sexy Liberal show, which everyone can still see on demand at sexyliberal.com. America is the best of humanity and the worst of humanity, turned up to 11. We are all that's good in this species and all that's bad in this species, turned up as loud as you can. We are the people who wanted to be free and to own slaves. We are the segregation, but we're also the civil rights movement. We are the LGBTQ suppression. We're also Obergefell. The same document that says all men are created equal says merciless Indian savages. That's America. We're both. We are Bob Dylan and Kid Rock. Yeah. And we have to choose which side we want to be on of these two tribes because they've always been here.
I was saying they did their usual Washington Post interviewed 20 Trump voters in a diner who was super happy, but everything is happening.
Yeah.
And of course, one of them mentioned trans people. There's only two genders. It's just... But as I was saying, we've been saying this over and over. Who was this one? J.H. said 15 people through middle school, high school, and college. 15 people banned from playing sports. This is apparently the most pressing issue facing our country.
That's it. And that's how easy. There's no group that's easier to manipulate than conservative white men. The NCAA says there's 100,000 athletes and fewer than 10 are transgender. Yeah. So here's the big societal problem Trump has solved. And this is what he always does. He creates something out of nothing, says it's a horrible crisis. Only I can help you. This is how the fascists do it. They create a bad guy and only I can protect you from the existential threat. Now that they've banned trans people from competing in sports, what are they going to do? It's like Roe v. Wade. You can't fundraise off this anymore. How are you going to persecute them worse? Because believe me, they're not going to be satisfied with just banning this tiny minority from playing sports.
As we keep saying, we lost this disinformation war this time. We just did. How do you become then, we have to be anti-trans too? Or we have to be the party that yells tranny, 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 like Nancy Mace did this week? We have to be the bigots too, in order to be in touch with...
None of these people are going to look good in history. We have to take a step back and remember something here. In the future... which will happen. There will be a future. And these smart people in the future will know how stupid and dishonest and corrupt Trumpism was. Yeah. The dumb people of the future won't care. Dumb people won't care about past Trumpism. Dumb people don't care about history. And that's why we have Trump right now. These people are going to get away with a lot. They're going to hurt a lot of people. They're not all going to be held accountable, but they're not going to hold power forever. We are going to beat them, and history will record them for the reprobates and curs they actually are. Trust me on this. They're too incompetent, Stephanie. Donald Trump is backing down on so much. Punch the bullies back in the face. And thank you, Al Green, for introducing articles of impeachment. I want to see someone else do it next week. I want another impeachment article every week. That's how I feel about C-SPAN. I only watch it for the articles.
I started the segment by just saying that you've got Christians cheering, taking food, starving poor kids. You just
they hate Jesus. They hate Jesus more than they hate cops.
You said it's not the anti-Christian bias; it's the anti-Jesus Christians. That's the problem.
It's
imagine
the bias
being the richest man in the world and how many people you could help, and he's mostly trying to figure out how he can hurt poor people. It's.
Yeah, well, you know what? Elon Musk is a debit to his race, and billionaires who can afford to go to Mars are billionaires who can afford to be taxed like Eisenhower did.
Yeah. You said America has so much religious freedom that people who only care about criminalizing abortion are allowed to identify as Christian. You're right, John. You've been talking about this for years. The new book is Separation of Church and Hate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Thank you very much. But this is my thing. I got in trouble for saying this. I know so many atheists who are more like Jesus than MAGA Christians, because atheists don't believe in Jesus or his divinity, but they can still follow his teachings and appreciate the revolutionary ethic of things like blessed are the meek. Atheists can still follow Jesus' teachings. MAGA cannot, because if you follow Jesus' teachings, you are kicked out of the club because you don't hate people, especially immigrants, enough.
just, I don't know, it's hard to get through all of it in one show. I'm sure you're going through the same thing. Trump
Every
Trump
night.
Fired the head of the Consumer Protection Agency because who wants consumers protected, really?
They don't. Not the predators. No.
Yeah, he was the scourge of Wall Street, known for his aggressive approach to enforcing consumer protection laws. He led a crackdown that prompted most large banks to abandon or significantly reduce overdraft fees, ordered Wells Fargo to pay $2 billion to customers harmed by its misdeeds, which include improperly seizing some borrowers' cars and homes. He was an ally, of course, of Elizabeth Warren. I mean,
Release the predatory lenders.
Release
the predatory lenders on them. That's what they're doing.
This story in the Post about the Trump voters going, yay, we love this. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Yeah, chaos. It's just, I guess it hasn't hit them yet. And that'll be our job to make sure when it does, they understand why. And, it's going to,
America's a family. And MAGA is the alcoholic dad who does too much coke on the weekends. That's it. And alcoholic dad is going to ruin it for the rest of the family before we finally find a way to escape.
Perfect. All right. I love you, John Fugelsang, and what a delightful suggestion to go to sexyliberal.com and watch the fantastic. You will be energized. You will laugh. You'll cry. You'll watch again and again. Sexyliberal.com. Oh, hey there. It's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.